Hello everybody and welcome back to the Titan Repairs channel. On this channel we fix and recondition classic and retro video game consoles and accessories. My name is Chris and let me introduce to you what's going on with these 4 Wiimotes. Alright, so I got 4 Wiimotes here and the customer gave these to me with some various complaints about them. Now what is nice is that he did write down what's going on with each of the colors, and they're all different colors, so for the sake of this video, it'll actually be pretty easy to keep track of them. So the pink one, he says, turns off periodically while playing. The white one, the button does not work well. The black one does not turn on. And the red one does not turn on. He took it apart and cleaned contacts, still does not turn on. Alright, so let's just go down the list and do a quick visual inspection and see what's going on with each of these. Alright, so this pink one, he says, turns off periodically while playing. So we already have batteries in here. Let's do a quick visual inspection. What I'm kind of seeing from the get-go is, looks like we got a little bit of corrosion on the contact here. More than even here, so I have the feeling this one, I know when I was talking, he did say that the batteries leaked in a couple of his controllers. This could have been one of them. We'll do a more thorough testing with my test Wii, but yeah. Alright, on the white one, he says the 2 button doesn't work very well. Touching the 1 and then the 2, this one does feel a little bit mushier. I have the feeling it's a contact pad, but the controller is also a little dirty. It could just be grime even got in there, so we'll open this one up and see what we can find on the inside. A clean may just be all this thing needs. Alright, so he also did say that the black one does not turn on. I think this one was one he said also is corroded. And right here I see bare metal that's not shiny. So I think the plating came off from battery corrosion. Again, we'll double check with the test console, but that's what I'm going to kind of assume on that one. Alright, then the red one, he also says, does not turn on. This is the one he did clean. The contacts actually do look fairly shiny. I do see here where the battery would sit that it's not very shiny. And it does appear that's where the battery would sit. Oh wait, that went backwards. Yeah, that would be where the battery would sit. So yeah, I got the feeling, but we'll test it with the multimeter. Alright, so I'll just fire up the test console, put some batteries in these, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so I have my test Wii on. So we're going to put the batteries in, and we got a sync. Alright, so we do have some power. Alright, okay, so just upon initial inspection, it does seem like this is working. Let's try the next one. Alright, I just gotta sync this one up to my system. Is there something in the menu I can use to test this button? I guess the only way is to really play a game with it. So I got Ford Racing Off-Road. And it looks like I can start off right with the 2 button. Yeah, I would say that it's not working too good. Yep, definitely gotta press hard on it. Alright, I'm satisfied with that. I don't need to play the game to know what's going on here, so yeah, we'll open this up, see what's going on. Alright, so now we're on the black one, but that does not turn on. And definitely trust that it will not, but gotta be thorough. Yep, nada. Yep, and nada. First thing we gotta do is take these apart, so I'm gonna just take the wrist straps off first. Alright, so we got 4 screws we gotta take out, and they're these awesome tri-wings that Nintendo likes to use. Should be a couple tabs holding these in. Oh, there it goes. Kind of hoping to not have those things fly all over the place, but here we are. All this is getting washed anyway, so kind of helps me out a little bit. Yeah, there's a lot of corrosion on these terminals. I'd almost bet that this is why it kind of intermittently cuts out. And I do see a little bit on the board, but not much. I think I can clean that off. Let me take this out while I'm here. It's got to be an easier way of getting these out. Yeah, these definitely need to be replaced. And I almost bet that this, like I said, I almost bet this is what the issue is. Alright, now we're moving on to the white controller. Or rather, Wiimote, I should say. Awesome, buttons didn't go flying everywhere. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, we got some corrosion here. I'm gonna have to take this board out, see what's going on. Cause that could be... Took some of the solder mask off with it too. Not that I think that that's gonna damage anything, but yeah, it looks like there's a little discoloration here, a little like oxidation, so we might have... Hopefully we can clean that up, but I want to see what's going on the other side here. Yeah, we got some serious damage here. This is barely even connected, so yeah, there must have been a leaky battery at some point. This is definitely some corrosion down here. So I'm just going to play it on the safe side. I'm going to replace these as well. I mean, we're talking about a couple bucks here, so I'm not too concerned. Might as well do the job right. Alright, now the black one. It's the next one we will be working on. So this one just didn't even turn on, so I got to get this out of the shelf first, and then I would like to test the battery terminals connected to the board. Hate plastic tabs, just use a screw. For goodness sakes. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got some damage. See, we got some acid damage on here. We're gonna definitely have to deal with. I would say that's definitely the issue. So I'd like to test, because I already know that this battery terminal right there is pretty toast, but I just want to try something here. See, if I place my test lead right where the battery goes, I got nothing. But then if I move it off to the side where it's shiny, we got something. So I know that one's definitely not working, and clearly. So yeah, we'll get another one of those. For now, just gotta get these old terminals out. Alright, and now we got the lady in red. This is the one he did say he opened, so that's why this one's coming apart pretty easily. Yeah, I do have to say, he did a pretty good job cleaning off the terminals. But Does not appear it's shiny on the positive terminal here. Let's see a little corrosion there. Yeah, we got quite a bit of corrosion on this board. Looks like it's taking up the solder mask here. Take a look. I just want to give this a quick test. Okay, so I have it up until here. But on the back side, yeah, I got something. Okay, see, this is what's more concerning to me right here. This is right on an IC, and that's a lot of corrosion. So I'm going to order an extra set of battery terminals, but I don't think that that's going to be the issue. I think that this is going to be our biggest issue. And plus we got solder mask bubbling up. I just have the feeling this one might be done. I'll do what I can to it, but... Alright, and we are back. So I got the battery terminals in. I ordered them off AliExpress, and they actually came pretty quick, only about a week. So that was pretty impressive for coming from China. So I did get multiples. So I'm just going to go ahead and replace the terminals on every one of these. Just kind of figure, like, why not? I have them. Just take a little bit of an extra step and make sure that these are all good. But while I was waiting for that to arrive, I did clean up the shells and the internals of each one of these controllers. So everything is nice and clean. So really all that there is left to do is replace the terminals on all the boards, clean up the boards, and go from there and put it all back together. All right, so we are working on the pink one here. And what was the note on this one again? It's been a couple weeks. Turns off periodically while playing. Yeah, I'm gonna try just replacing the battery terminals and seeing if that solves the problem, because with how corroded this one is, I'm kind of wondering if it's not getting as good enough of a connection, so when it's moving around as my customer is playing, it just would lose connection. I kind of have the feeling that that's what the issue is. So, yeah. Yeah, hopefully I have enough wick for the rest of this project. I'm kind of running out. I don't know why I never use this thing more. Yeah, I remember now. The base on this thing kind of sucks. And that's what I get for getting the cheapest one at Harbor Freight. Yeah, just clean up these pads a little bit. Alright, so I got to clean up around here where we got a little bit of corrosion. So let's try a little alcohol first. And flip it over, do the same thing on the back. It does appear like it's just the alcohol's taking the acid off. At least on this one. For what is it, the red one? I think we're gonna have to do some more aggressive measures. Alright, so now it's time for the new terminals. Alright, just gonna start by putting a little flux on. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put both of these in. Use these to hold it in place. There we go. Alright, looks good. I'm just gotta clean that up a little bit. And we should be good on this board. There we go. Alright, so that's in. Time to put everything back in the shell. Okay, so every one of these buttons can only go in one way. So they're all keyed. So it's kind of hard to screw them up. Okay, just gotta drop this in. It should be good to go. Alright, we just gotta put the 4 screws in. Stupid tri-wings. Okay, so that's one down, then we just have to pretty much just give it a test. But we'll do that later after we fix the other 3. Get those back together. Alright, next up we have the white Wiimote. So, just as a refresher, this one has the one that has the non-functioning 2 button, which, if you look right here, just as a review, there's a little schmutz on there. I think that might be some kind of corrosion or something. And then we also have some white powdery corrosion here on the pins, which I'm actually surprised this controller worked as well as it did. But the pins for the battery terminals are also corroded, so we will remove those first so we can clean up the rest of the Wiimote. Oh, nice, that just fell right out. Trying to get some of this other solder out. Guess I'm not going to be as lucky with the component falling out like the other one, but this one seems like it's a little more stuck. There it goes. Alright, we'll just kind of clean up this area first. Where the 2 button is looks a lot shinier, but what's really concerning me is right here. And I'm going to actually get the microscope to show this, because it's a pretty significant amount of damage on here. Alright, so this is basically what we're looking at here. So the damage was a lot more than I thought after getting it cleaned up, so you can see that the solder mask has come up and it's corroded the copper that's underneath it. So I'm also seeing that there's corrosion on the pins. There's some trace damage here. So I'm actually like shocked that this worked. Yeah, I'm going to try to clean this up the best I can just because it is working, but there's really not too much I can really do here. So what I'm going to try is use a little bit of vinegar to break up some of this corrosion that I cannot get off with the alcohol. Yeah, look at it go. This is like a science experiment. There's still some here. Just gonna be very careful with the pick around here. I don't want to like get it snagged on something and pull it off the board, but I don't want anything off the board, but just kind of scrape around like I'm cleaning teeth. Let's get some of this corrosion off. Oh man, this is so bad. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really confident in the long-term health of this particular controller. I mean, hopefully we stopped it from having any further damage, but yeah, I mean, I'm serious where I'm shocked that that was the only issue with it was the number 2 button. Because even, like, look at the legs, there's no shininess on them anymore. Well, I'm mad at it. I might as well just clean up the rest of this board. The top part here doesn't really need it. It actually looks pretty good, so. But it is the back here that also has me concerned. So I'm going to soak this down with some more vinegar. Try and break this up a little bit. But I really don't know what we're going to find underneath. Yeah, it looks like we have some solder mask damage there. Hopefully it'll be okay. Yeah, more of that solder mask just came off. That kind of sucks. It's just amazing what the battery acid can do to circuit boards. It's just not good for it at all. Hopefully everything still functions. Alright. So now we get to put in the new battery terminals. So I'll just knock this one out of the way for in here. Oh, wait, wrong way. There we go. Alright, and we'll just put that aside, and then we gotta put these in. Alright, now we can just start putting everything back in. Whoops, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to clean up the flux over here. Oops. And there we go, no harm, no foul. I had a feeling that that was going to be an issue. So a lot of times when you disassemble these, because it's hard plastic and it's getting kind of up there in age, the plastic is like really brittle. So the two tabs that are up here on the top came off, which I don't think it would actually like impact, because I mean you kind of hold it like this anyway, so it would stay together. But I do want to try something that'll maybe hold it together a little bit better. So let me just get this back open. So what I'm going to try is I'm going to use a little bit of this Elmer's rubber cement. Now the reason I'm going to use this, and now this is just an experiment, the reason I'm going to try and use this is because then it will not be a permanent bond, but it should be good enough to hold it in place. Yeah, just a little bit. I think that should be enough. It's going to be pretty tight there anyway. Alright, let's see how this goes. Alright, and then I'm going to just put these screws back in. So it looks like it's on there a little tighter, but just for the glue to cure a little bit, I'm just going to put a rubber band around so it holds it in place, and then I'll just set this aside, and we'll come back to this in a little bit. Future Chris here. So, past me forgot to turn on my microphone when starting the Black controller, so I'll fill in where he failed. So as a refresher, this one did not power on. So I'm going to start by removing the battery terminals. And as you can see here, it's giving me a bit of a problem. This one came off much more easily. Now just to clean up the flux. Just gonna try and brush this away. Yeah, it's definitely not coming off. At least not easily. If I take the pick, some of it comes off. Yeah, there we go. You just need something a little more aggressive than the old toothbrush. And with the pick, I am going extremely light on this. It's kind of letting it ride along the surface. It's also not my most aggressive pick. Trying it with a little bit of with vinegar. Maybe as I'm scraping along, it'll kind of clean it up a little bit. Yeah, that is loads better. That's not coming off there. And I don't want to risk ripping the solder mask off or damaging any traces. But now that it's completely cleaned off, I think I need to bring you all in on the microscope on this one, to show you what's going on with these pads, because it's kind of hard to see zoomed out with the camera, but we'll take a look under the microscope and I'll show you why I'm not really having too much hope for this one. Okay, now that we're under the microscope, we can kind of see what my concerns are. So you can see now that there's just all this pitting in the copper, and some things that I seem to have missed. So this is a little concerning to me because this may not make a good electrical contact, especially when you press the buttons. Like even just like moving the pick right here into this, I can feel that. I can feel that cavity right in there. So I don't really have high hopes for this black controller, but what I might try to do is use a little bit of Brasso. This might be enough to polish them up a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't seem to really be doing much of anything. They can cross our fingers and hope for the best when this is back together, but like I said, I'm not very hopeful. I mean, it just polishes the copper. It's not gonna do anything about those divots in there. Yuck. Well, it's certainly shinier, but yeah, they still got those pits in there. Well, I think that's honestly the best we're gonna get it. I don't think we're gonna get it any better. So it is what it is. So on this side, we also have some corrosion. So we're just gonna basically do this the easy way with a little bit of... We'll just put some vinegar on, just let it do its thing. Oh god, that actually took a component right off. Yeah, those pads completely like corroded away. Holy crap. Well, that's not good. That's not good at all. Alright, so I think I'm just going to call it here on this black controller for now. Yeah, just based upon what I'm seeing with this damage from the acid, I'm just not confident in it. So, like, I was willing to take the chance with just the pitted contacts for the buttons, but now that the pads have been corroded away, I'm just not very confident that this thing is even salvageable. So I just don't know if there's any other damage deep down in the board or what's going on. So I think my professional opinion is that this controller, it's just not worth the time and the effort. So I'm going to get in touch with my customer, let them know what I found, and just take it from there. See, and yeah, in the meantime, we'll just work on the next controller, and hopefully we can save that one. All right, we are on the final Wiimote here, and it is the red one. So this one did not power on, and the owner did open it up and clean the contacts, but clearly isn't working. Alright, so just take off the terminals because we know these are bad for sure. Oh damn, that just broke right off. We'll come back to that one. Let's try this one here. Hopefully this one comes out easier. Yep. And this is really stuck in there. Alright, gonna bring out the big guns here. I'm gonna put a little fresh solder on, because if there was I'm also pretty much out of solder here. Because if there is maybe some corrosion or something, maybe reflowing a little bit here will help it out. Alright, that's done. Okay, it's moving. There we go. Thank God. That was pretty annoying. Alright, so let me just clean this up here. Probably should have just done that from the beginning, but whatever. At least it's clean. Alright. Alright, now we can take this off and work on decrustifying it. Alright, so we're going to start off with the vinegar. Just in the area. I'm just hoping that more components don't fall off like on the black one. Yeah, I figured that this was going to happen. The solder mask is coming off. Yeah, I'm lifting up. I can see like the green underneath there. I'm really not convinced that this controller is going to work at all. You can see when I lift it up, you can see the... Well, now it's just completely come off, but... Yeah, you can see the corrosion there. And the side's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, I might as well just take the solder mask off, and as soon as I hit that with the toothbrush, it's going to take it off. Just hoping it doesn't take any components off, but... I'm sure if there's any traces, that's probably going to be no good anymore. Alright, let's flip it over, see what we can do on this side. Especially right here. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, if I don't get this thing working when I'm in testing, I think I'm just going to leave it as is, because I think that this can, like I said, I think that this controller is completely gone. No, we'll do one more application just to neutralize anything I might have just scratched up. But yeah, this looks loads better, but I think we're only going to be able to do so much here. And actually almost, I think I need to get the microscope out. I think we might have some corroded away legs on this chip, so I gotta see. Because if that's the case, then no sense in even continuing on here. Alright, underneath the microscope, I am really magnified in on here, and I do not like what I'm seeing at all. So, yeah, these are the pins, and they ain't there. Those pins are not there at all. The acid completely ate away at them. So, it's also like really deep underneath there. Yeah, even over here, we got pins broken and missing, completely corroded away. Over here, it just started. But these are at least a little more intact. Yeah, I see nothing I can do here, so I'm going to contact my customer about this one as well and say this one's a total loss. I mean, the only way to fix this is to, even just to attempt it, is to replace this chip. And based upon the damage that we are seeing elsewhere, like right here, yeah, I think that this is completely a total loss. If it wasn't this bad, then I probably would have just thrown in the terminals and then hope for the best. But yeah, this is just way too far gone. Alright, so I did reach out to my customer about these two particular Wiimotes and told him what was going on about the acid damage and how I believe that they're irreparably damaged. So Now, what I also did do was I do have a couple Wiimotes in stock that I have not reconditioned yet. They're a little grody, so they would have to be opened up and cleaned. So, since I'm already doing that, what I did suggest to him was that I just shell swap them. It would actually save me time because I have to clean this off, this writing off. Definitely looks like a kid was eating pudding or something while he was using this. So they definitely need a good clean. So it actually saved me time to shell swap, even though one of them would definitely not have the Wii Remote Plus. But that's neither here nor there. Leaving that in his wheelhouse, and if he says yes, I will just do that on my own time. So anyway, we do have two that we have repaired. We have to see if they indeed are fully functional again. So let's get some batteries in these Wiimotes and see what happens. Alright, we're going to start off with the white one here. Alright, well the power button works, so that's a good start. Alright, so the big complaint about this one was the number 2 button, so we're obviously going to check everything, make sure it's all good. Alright, press the 2 button to continue. We're going to start right off with this. Perfect. Well, I'm pressing the B button. It's making a noise. Oh, I guess it has to go this way. That makes sense. Okay, 2 works. Let's do a quick race here. Wait, I don't get to choose my car? Or vibration and everything works. I am really sucking at this game. Holy crap. Really should just put this on the steering wheel. Okay, the plus and the minus work. Alright, I've seen enough on this. Also good with embarrassing myself. As we're gonna power this down, and I'm gonna try the next remote, which is the pink one. Oh, also one more thing to note too. This was also the one where I put the rubber cement inside to hold it back together, and I'm kind of pulling on it. I'm not hulking it, but I'm just pulling on it, and it seems to be holding. It's not flexing too much. So yeah, I love rubber cement for these non-permanent gluing fixes. So one thing about these new terminals is that they are so stiff, which isn't a bad thing. Yeah, so this one periodically shut off while playing. Now, for the scope of this video, I'm only going to show like me testing here on the bench. But I think what I might do tonight is sit down and play a game on my Wii and see if I get it to cut off. But for the scope of this video, let's turn it on. The Wii is powering on. All right, back to Ford Racing Off-Road. Okay, it's making a noise when I hit the B button, so that should be fine. Good. Alright, left and right work. We'll find out about plus and minus. Yep, home works. Let's go to arcade this time. And we'll do easy, sure, why not? Okay, basically just choose a Ford Escape, a Bronco, which this one would actually, this game is from 2007, so this would be not the Bronco that we have now. This is actually the concept version of the Bronco they showed back in the mid-2000s. It's kind of cool how you can kind of see like where they took inspiration from for the new Bronco that just came out of, what was it, 2020, I think it was, something like that. We're going to go with the Ford Ranger. Alright, forgot I have to do this. Alright, the 1 and the 2 button work. I think I'm doing a little better this time. At least I'm in 5th. Oh snap, now I'm in 3rd. What the hell? How'd I end up back in 5th? This is ridiculous. I'm not gonna get beaten by those cars. There we go, 1st place. Come on, come on. Just gotta stay here. Just gotta stay in this position. No, screw you. Ah, shit. Oh my god, how did he get out so far in front of me? That better not be an escape. So how could I get beaten by that? Get off me. Oh, damn it. I'm coming for you, Ford Escape. I just gotta get to the F-150. That's all I gotta do. Stay away from me, Defender. frickin' escape again. Come on, come on! Oh, damn it, I was so close. Oh, man. At least I lost to an F-150 and not a Ford Escape. Holy crap, there were 3 of them. Hey, cool. So, this one clearly works. Like I said, I'll play around with it a little more just to make double sure that it's not going to drop out while playing, but I think we got it. I think it was the sketchy terminals. Alright, so I guess that'll pretty much wrap up this video. We got 2 out of the 4 working, so that's fantastic that these 2 are now perfectly fine. Like I said, I will test this a little bit more on my own time, just to double make sure that it's not going to quit out on him or anything like that. Now, as for the other 2, like I said, I'll just leave that in his wheelhouse, what he wants to do. If he wants to take me up on that offer of just doing the shell swap, I think that would be just fine. With that said, thank you so much for coming along with me on this video. If you've made it this far, like, share, subscribe, and all that good jazz. Leave down any comments or anything like that in the comment section below. I'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye for now.